I have that brought up. Hey, Brian. Hello and welcome to Bristol, Tennessee for round 19 of the 2016 Air Racing League Sportsman Truck Series live on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Hi, I'm Tanner Sharp, and alongside me in the booth is Brian Yasek. Behind the scenes is our director Jason Fleshy, and our cameras sets are provided by Dougie Beard. Just 4 rounds remain before we find out which 12 drivers are heading into the chase, so you'd think many drivers will just simply stay out of trouble for tonight. But unfortunately, that's easier said than done there, Brian.
Yeah, it is. Bristol, this is where things can happen very fast. It's called Thunder Valley. It's called the last great Coliseum, whatever you're going to call it. It is scary for the drivers. Just where, even to the simple fact that you could be riding all by yourself, minding your own business, and your night can come to a very premature end because of somebody else's mistake, or because it is Bristol and it is short tracks, maybe a potential payback from something that you did earlier on in the season.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is probably one of the places to get some kind of payback if you're going to do a bump and run or use the old chrome horn on the guy ahead of you. So before we get all into hot topics of qualifying and all that, let's check out our series point standings. As you can see on the screen here, we have the top 5 drivers. That is James Krahula leading the standings here with 624 points. Perry Digel with 589 points. Jake C. Wright, I think he's our road course ringer here, racing here at Bristol tonight with 528 points. Don Runkle with 523 points. And Scott Eckridge rounding out the top 5 in the point standings. But with those top 5 guys, about 4 out of the 5 drivers have wins in the top 5 point standings. So let's check out our chase grid. Scott Eckridge leads that chase grid with 4 wins. Jake Wright with 3 wins. James Hula with a win. He's our current series points leader. Perry Digel with 1 win. Jason Swan with a win. Ricky Harden with a win. Don Runkle Jr. without a win, but he's 145 points ahead of the chase cutoff line. Adam Blattle with 101 points. Big Joe Hazard with 63 points, sitting in the 9th position on the chase grid. Jeff Ryan rounding out the top 10. Woodrow Mahan in the 11th position, plus 19. Chad Stallman, plus 1. And now Dan Murray is 1 point outside looking in 13th. DJ Beverly in 14th with 6 points out. And Jody Green, 7 points out in 15th. So, Brian, it is definitely a tight squeeze, and a win does lock you in the chase in this series. So what do you think? Do you think those guys outside the top 12 have a chance to get up there and try to fight for this win tonight?
Well, Bristol is known for anything can happen, especially if you've seen at any point in any one of its races. It's known for kind of a chaotic finish at the end of a race, and it can really kind of give a good point standings shakeup. So, yeah, when you're looking at guys that are on the outside looking in, this is a great opportunity for guys like, Josh King, Paul Pepper, stuff like that they can make you snatch a win away. All of a sudden, you're finding yourself up there in the points.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I've seen those guys multiple times just run up in the top 10 and be really competitive for a win. Sometimes they do get involved with an incident, but heck, I mean, here at Bristol, it's very little room on the front and back stretch due to the pit wall on the inside and the outside wall, and we have seen the traffic get blocked up here before.
And it can. It's just like I was talking about. Bristol is a very wide track. It's a very narrow track all at the same time. Things can happen very fast, and that track can fill up in a hurry. If you were watching the iRacing Online Championship race on Wednesday, I know, Tanner, you were watching from the booth. It's very, very easy to see how one little incident, if you're trying to clear a guy, how all of a sudden that can just create chaos for everybody trying to follow through the groove. So it's going to be crucial for some of the points leaders to not get involved in, let's just say, some shenanigans here tonight at Bristol. Because if you're right there on the fence of trying to make it inside of the chase, a bad night here, even a bad qualifying run, can really set your chances back.
Oh, yeah. That is, you hit the nail right on the head there, Brian. There's no any better way to explain that. So right now we got about a minute left within qualifying sessions. At the top of the leaderboard so far is Scott Eckrich with a 14.898. Perry Dygel in the second position, 14.9. DJ Beverly so far is in third. I'm just looking throughout the field here, and most of the guys who been running in a top 10 in the practice session or on the speed charts here are pretty much in the top 10. Some guys have elected not to take the qualifying time. Guys like AJ Brissett was fifth fastest, but did not take a qualifying time.
Well, and that could have been something as simple as Bristol's very, very easy to overdrive in the center of the corner. If you go up there and scrape that wall, get a 0x, doesn't hurt the truck, absolutely kills your lap time. So that very well could have been what we saw tonight from someone. We see Johnny Krug on screen. I think just getting some extra laps and trying to get it all sorted out as we're winding down when time left in the session before we roll over to the grid. And with that being said, Tanner, I think we're going to show these boys, show them all at home how they qualified tonight.
Oh, yeah, let's check out our grid for tonight. Scott Eckrich on top of the board, who gets the pole award for tonight, the Savage Spinner Pole Award. Savage Spinners are unique river and stream lures created in the Pacific Northwest, handmade quality from the U.S. to entice fish at an affordable cost. Scott Eckrich on the pole for tonight. In second place, Perry Dygel, and DJ Beverly is in third. Jason Galvin is in fourth. James Krahula is in fifth tonight. Jake Wright, sixth. Norm Pelletier will qualify in the seventh position. Jonathan Cadell will qualify eighth. Ricky Har, ninth. And rounding out the top 10 is Adam Blattle.
And there you see here in 11th, Brad Collins. 12th to Big Joe Hasser. 13th to Randy Yoakum. 14th, Brian Hubble. To 15th position, Jason Swan, Swanee himself. 16th, Don Runkle Jr. 17th to Shane McCurry. 18th to Jonathan Smith. 19th to Carson Abe. Rounding out your top 20 is Mad Mark Norbert.
And outside the top 20, you had Danny Lawson in the 21st position. Jeff Ryan in the 88 will qualify 22nd. Rick Thompson 23rd. And now these drivers I'm about to name off have elected not to take a qualifying time. That's J.R. Smith starting 24th. Johnny Brugg will start 25th. Ricky Manzo will start 26th. AJ Brissett, who we just discussed earlier, is starting 27th. And Fred Thompson rounding out this 28 car field. Truck racing at Bristol, Brian. It can't get any better than this, especially as a Bristol night race. We're about to see these guys turn left and really get close to each other, fight for that middle lane, and probably you can get that bottom lane working. I mean, the track is cool enough to get that bottom lane working on probably newer tires.
It very well could be, but it's going to be the key because that trucks up on the top side can really get a good windup and get running off the corner. So it's going to be curious to see if guys can make that bottom line work over these next 125 laps.
We'll be getting set to go pacing soon. There goes the pace car. Scott Eckridge is going to lead the field. 2 pace laps. A pace lap will be required since it is a short track. You would only probably see one going green this time by if it was a mile and a half or bigger. But since it's Bristol, these guys are going to take an extra pace lap here. Scott Eckridge on top of the board. At qualifying, he's going to be a very tough guy to beat here tonight, in my opinion. I mean, he is just bad fast wherever he goes. Another driver I'm going to keep an eye on tonight, Brian, is Jake Wright. We've seen Jake Wright win road course races, and we've seen him pretty much up front in the oval, in any oval race, really.
Now, there's the reason over on the Cup side we call him the Stig, because he's very mysterious, doesn't talk a whole lot, but he can get the job done when the time comes. So would not surprise me at all to see Jake Wright get up there and fight for a win. Up against Pagula and some of these other more known oval guys. And here's the thing: is Jake dominantly has been a open wheel road course guy most of his iRacing career. So this whole tip top thing is new experience for him this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's as much different than when you go to hit a road course and all of a sudden you find yourself racing the trucks here at Bristol. These drivers, I believe, are going to take the green this time by. They're down in turns 3 and turns 4. Scott Eckridge is getting ready to go here to take the green flag. Pace car is in. Scott Eckridge, green flag, we are racing here at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
And Eckridge gets a wonderful jump off the restart. Here, Dial is trying to fall in line up in second, but he is under fire from Jason Galvin, that number 42 machine. There you see what we were talking about in the pre-race. That high line gets such a good run off the corner. And there you see Jake Wright try to use that high line as well to get around Jason Galvin.
Awfully close to that outside wall, coming off turn number 1 to complete the very first lap of the race. Scott Eckridge has pretty much checked out. Bree Digel in second place, Jason Galvin in third. He's being followed closely by Jake Wright and Jonathan Goodell. The first side-by-side battle is back here. Almost 3 wide situation. Number 56, Norm Pelletier, thought better of it.
Norman was looking, but it wasn't the right time to do that. Lula and Hart both get around on the top side. Or DJ Beverly was kind of stuck in the middle there.
Yeah, he definitely was. And right now he's settled in line. Right now he's actually being pressured by Norman Pelletier. Norman, as you like to call there, Brian, up to the back. Pretty much at the bottom. That right there. Another driver that's not too far behind is the number 1 truck of Big Joe Hazard.
Big Joe's been a threat in a couple of these races. Oh, we got a caution.
Oh,
Put it out.
Put it out.
That is turn 1 and 2. 21. Danny Lawrence was involved, or Denny Lawson was involved, sorry. And I didn't see who the other car was up there.
I think it was the 84. That's Johnny Brugg.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. Here comes a replay, but you're going to see what I see here. Danny just kind of caught the wall a little bit. We'll go back the other way here. Caught the wall just a little. Ooh, there's a little bit of contact there between the 21 and Johnny Brugg there. And there you see Lawson just gets off the corner, hits the wall, comes down, and just catches the 84 right in the right rear quarter panel, and that just spins the both of them around. So unfortunate for the driver of that number 84 machine. He just kind of had nowhere to go.
Yeah, he definitely had the wall there and just got spun in the right rear quarter panel, coming pretty much actually halfway down the front stretch there.
And it was, and there you see him. He's right now on. He's between the pace car and the leader. So he's kind of stuck there. I think he's going to try to stay out and try to get back on the lead lap, get a wave around here, because right now he's in the very tail end of the lead lap, according to the timing and scoring that I'm taking a look at.
Yeah, iRacing's probably telling him to stay behind the pace car. I mean, it's really easy to. That was towards the back of the pack, and usually the race leaders can really lap the field. I mean, in the first like 15, 20 laps of a race, as you can see right now, the number 84, Johnny Brugg, looks like he's headed down pit road here. So he will officially at least go one lap down.
And probably a smart bet. Get that thing to pit road. Get some damage fixed, get the crew guys over there with the duct tape and the hammer. It's funny how these six-figure virtual vehicles, how much they cost, and yet they get repaired very often at a place like Bristol with duct tape that costs about $5 roll and maybe a good $5 hammer as well.
The only drivers that went down pit roads, back of the pack trucks like Jeff Ryan, Rick Thompson, and Fred Thompson, all in the back of the pack, positions 22nd, 23rd, and 24th respectively. Everybody else has elected to stay out on the racetrack, and I mean, why would they even pit this earlier on, since it's only not even the first 10 laps of this race. Track temperature is cool, Brian, 78 degrees, air and track temperature, 125 laps these guys are going to be turning tonight. Do you think tires will play a factor if we do get a long green flag run?
If you get a long green flag run, and absolutely, you can see tires come into play. I mean, 10 laps, you're not going to notice a huge difference. But you start getting to 20, 30, the tires really do fall off. And if you're a driver, if you're some of them out there, it's very, very easy to abuse that right front tire and make it work harder than it really should. So that's where you're going to see guys start to fall off towards the end of the run and probably make the right side of those trucks really scraped up. So you very well might see if there's a caution with, let's say, if we've got a green flag run of about 30 laps and then a caution comes out with maybe 40 or 30 to go, it would be surprising to see a split strategy of guys trying to get back there and make it work, just because the cooler track temps allow for a little bit more grip and kind of reward you for taking care of them.
Pace car lights are off. They are all double filed, ready to go. We are going back green, this time by Scott Eckrich, Perry Digel, Jason Galvin, Jake Wright, Jonathan Cadell. Rounding out your top five, waiting on the race leader, and oh boy, a little bit sideways on the start, but Scott Eckrich gets it going.
Eckrich got a good start, brought him down a little slow, but Pierre is going to be the one that suffers there because he got the bad restart, but was able to use the momentum off of 1 and 2 on the high side to be able to clear Jason Galvin again. And here comes Jake Wright and Adam Blattle and Jonathan Cadell. They're going to try to, it's kind of an inverse freight train when you get stuck on the bottom here at Bristol. Everybody goes around you on the top. But here comes Galvin with a good run through the middle of the corner fighting back, and now Blattle's looking to take it down low.
Adam Blattle looking able to take it down low in the middle of 3 and 4. Looks like number 42, Jason Galvin's got a huge run off the corner. That's going to allow, who is that? Jonathan Cadell to sweep on by, or attempt to, on Adam Blattle, though. Jason Galvin is actually working on Jake Wright right now, entering turn number 3, side by side. Will they last?
Yeah, side by side to the line. That time given to Galvin. He's running the middle of the track, working that truck hard, but it's going to clear. It's going to pay off. It's going to clear Jake Wright. Shuts the door. Move Galvin up to P3.
He kind of forced Jake Wright out of line just a little bit and moved Jason Galvin up there to position number 3.
Oh, he got to catch the wall a little bit. That's going to check up the whole field behind him. Caution is out. Put it out.
And I don't think that's for Perry Digel, though.
Nope, that's for the 83 down the front stretch. Right off going into turn 1, I believe.
That is Mark Norbert.
At least when I looked over, that was the only car that was stopped on track. Yep, that's going to be him. Ooh, you're going to see what happens when you catch the tires on the apron here at Bristol.
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit of technical difficulty. Hey, here we go.
Yeah, he got loose coming off the corner.
He caught the apron. He was driving. He was on the bottom of another truck, and he caught the apron with the left side tires. And when he came back up onto the track, it just kicked it loose on him, and he kind of just was along for the ride at that point.
Having some technical difficulties, we apologize to everybody here. We will get that all squared away, but Mark Norbert has came down pit road. I believe everybody else has elected yet to stay out, and they haven't had a long green flag run to really come down for any kind of tires whatsoever.
Good news, though, of this caution, the 84, Johnny Bruggs, going to be the Coastal Safety Auditor's Lucky Dog Award. You're going to see him cutting around here on turn 1 on the high side. Going to get back onto the lead lap, or no, he's going to go from 2 to 1 lap down. So good for Johnny there in the number 84 machine. There you see Brutus, the Lucky Dog. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services.
In the Lucky Dog, as the drivers are still pacing, pace car lights are still turned on. So everybody that has so far started in the top 10 tonight has remained in the top 10. There we have seen some side-by-side battles. One driver that started 10th that's already moved up 3 positions and been pretty aggressive early on has been that 104 car of Adam Blattle.
He's trying to make it work there. Adam Blattle not having a bad run. Started 10th, up to 7th, was up to 5th. Tried to make the middle of the track work, but it didn't quite work out for him. Right now, big mover on the night. I'm going to... Well, there's not really. Everybody's kind of running right about where they started. I mean, technically, the biggest mover, it's kind of a tie between Adam Blattle, who started 10th and up to 7th. Ricky Harden right in front of him, started 9th up to 6th. And that's pretty much about that, folks.
Yeah, we've only ran 2 cautions, or had 2 cautions just in the first 19 laps of this race, so we haven't had any long green flag run stints just yet. I'm sure once everything gets all sorted out with these drivers, we could see some long green flag runs, and hopefully fuel shouldn't really be a factor tonight. It could be. I mean, I can be definitely wrong on that, but only driver down on pit road right now is J.R. Smith in the 95 truck. 1 to go this time by Scott Eckert, Prairie Daigle, Jason Galvin, Jake Wright, Jonathan Cattell rounding out your top 5. Ricky Harden, Adam Blattle, Norton Pelletier, James Krugula, and DJ Beverly. That is your top 10. And I said earlier that Jake Wright could be a factor. I know it's early right now, but I think he's one of the drivers that could definitely compete. If Prairie Daigle can stay out of the wall as well, he could definitely be a contender. Pace car is going to be dipping down pit road here. Scott Eckert is going to lead him back to the green once again. Will it be just like on the gas and go? Yes, it will be. Scott Eckert on the gas as the first side-by-side battle will be contended for 3rd place.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd place. Jake Wright, Jason Galvin once again. That's actually going to be about 4 cars all over there. Jake Wright's going to get the position for 3rd right now at the moment. Hard's going to try to follow on the top side. Galvin on the bottom, going the hard way around here. And if you're fans of some of the other series that GSRC broadcast, Jason Galvin, Jake Wright battling it out. Caution is out. Put it out. Oh, it's right in front of the leaders. It's Norbert again. Oh, Krahula, I think, caught a part of it.
Oh, man, some top 10 drivers possibly getting involved in this incident.
Looks like Jake Wright got a little bit of rear bumper damage. Luckily, this isn't a narrow sensitive track. He's fine. Here you're going to see...
Was there...
Wow.
I wonder if there was some kind of contact with Carson Aube and Mark Norman.
Let's see. A little check up there. Yeah. And then here's where the chaos started. Norbert tries to fire it up and spins up into the track. I don't know where the caution was at that point. Probably was right there. Yeah, there you see everybody driving by.
Whoa! That's like playing a little dodgeball right there. What'd you say there, Brian?
Yeah, nothing like that's kind of a high-speed, low-speed dodgeball match right there.
Let's look at this again from on board our race leader. That is Scott Eckert. He's just running the race leader. I believe he is aware that the caution is out, but the thing is, you're not 100% sure where the accident is. It only takes about 15 seconds to get around this joint here at Bristol.
Hey, well, this place will make it dizzy, too, if you run a long enough race. And there you see, wow.
Yeah, that's playing dodgeball right there. Yeah, I always refer to Bristol. I mean, every time I come to Bristol, I think about being in a blender. I mean, you go around and around and around and around so fast, because everything is just so fast around here. You have very little time to react, or even no time to react.
I think Kyle Petty put it best when he was asked what it's like racing at Bristol. I think this was maybe 15, 20 years ago, and he said, racing at Bristol, driving around here is kind of like flying a fighter pilot or fighter jet in a high school gymnasium. And that really gives you a good sensation of what it's like to rip around here.
Oh yeah, that's that's probably no better way to put it. No drivers in the top 10 have taken a pit stop. DJ Beverly, according to my live timing and scoring, has pitted. He was running up there close to the top 10 area. Actually, he was in the top 10 area. He has elected to pit, but that's going to put him in the back of the pack. But everybody else will stay out on the racetrack.
Yep, and quick note, the number 84 machine. That was Johnny Brugg. I believe he got the wave around, or he got the lucky dog, but he's sitting in his stall and he just kind of fell back a lap down again. So, just maybe some more damage to get fixed on that one. It's certainly a bold strategy, Cotton.
It's certainly a bold strategy, but I mean, with how many cautions we've been having so far in this race, with 26 laps, we are on lap 27 right now, out of 125 laps tonight. I mean, he might take the opportunity to say, hey, I might as well go a lap down. I mean, he's only the first car 1 lap down, and the car behind him is 6 laps down, so he has a little gap to probably get some of that damage repaired. Pace car lights are headed down into turn number, or pace car lights are off. They're headed down turn number 3. Scott Eckert, Puri Digel, the top 2 drivers. There's some damage on the right rear quarter panel. I believe that's from Puri Digel hitting the wall. Scott Eckert on the loud pedal. Green flag. We're back racing here at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
Pierre going to be under fire from Jake Wright for position number 2, but if Jake's not careful, he's going to be under fire for position number 3. Ricky Harden, we know he can get around on these short tracks. He won the Martinsville race here earlier this year and also won Martinsville.
Oh, number 20! Number 20! Brian Habel is sideways.
He saved
it, and he made a little contact with Jeff Ryan, the 88, but what a save by that number 20 of Brian Habel.
Kept it going the right way. That's the important part.
Oh, yeah. That was some tremendous driving right here. Here's a big pack of bulls right here up towards 5th place, technically. Actually, we're Ricky Harden. He actually took 2nd place away from Puri Digel. Actually, Jake Wright, 3rd place, excuse me. And that, from Ricky Harden on back, has been pretty wild.
It seems like Jason Gelman, off the initial restart, he can't get that middle, or that right about the middle line. He's really dedicated to it. He can't quite get it to stick in the first part of the run, but as it kind of goes in and the tires start to get some pressure built into him, he can make it work. But the problem is now he was up there for about the 5th position, or not the 5th position, actually. He's up for about 3rd, 4th in that kind of battle. And now he is under fire from Jonathan Cadell, Adam Blattle, Storm and Norman Pelletier. That's a big pack for 5th place. Meanwhile, right up in front of him, the pressure is on to Pierre Digel. Separated by 1 number on the standings here, 14 versus 15. Ricky Harden, he's closed up big time under the rear bumper of Pierre.
And now a race leader. Puri Digel hit the wall, and we got another truck in the wall. I believe Adam Blattle. Adam Blattle hitting the wall in turns 1 and 2. Everybody gets.
Cadell's making it. He took a big swing at it going into turn 3 when everybody was checking up. And Jake Wright catches the wall just a little bit, and that's going to move Jonathan Cadell up to position number 4.
Lots of action happening within the top 10 from 2nd on back pretty much. And while all this is going on, our race leader, Scott Eckridge, has pretty much checked out almost about a 2-second race lead right now. He's lapped Don Runkle Jr. He's about to lap Fred Thompson.
Yeah, all of that's happening in the rear-view mirror of Scott Eckridge. No issues for him, but the thing that I would always be worried about out there is that, he might be burning up his stuff here.
Contact number 18! Jason Swan making contact with, I think that was J.R. Smith. This is not going to bring out a caution, surprisingly, since the trucks have spun out on the apron of the racetrack.
Contact! Big wreck out of turn 2! Wright is involved, Cadell is involved, Pierre is involved.
And
everybody's spun down to the inside, though.
And so far, we are not under a yellow flag yet. Jake Wright, he is smoking. He's headed down into the pit road. Oh, man, lots of action going around here around the Bristol Motor Speedway. This is the place.
going to show you here what happens. There you see Cadell, Pierre, Don gets involved. Holy moly.
I cannot believe we did not get a caution on it, but everybody kept it pretty much off the racing groove. I mean, that's just tremendous driving by all drivers, especially when you come to Bristol. You got very little room to work with. That put James Krahula at the 5th place.
Big benefactor in all of that. Jumped a whole lot of spots because I think he was able to stay up near the wall and just keep it in the gas pedal as everybody was spinning below him.
Right behind him is Adam Plattle, who actually caught the wall earlier ahead of James Krahula's Norman Pelletier. Here's James Krahula.
Position 4.
Yeah, and he just got passed by James Krahula, but I mean, Krahula had a huge run coming off that corner, using the high side as a benefit.
Oh, put it out! It's the Jeff Ryan on the front stretch, off of turn 1 again.
Jeff Ryan, that is the 88 truck.
And you're going to see what... Ooh, that was somebody. You squeaked by right there. I don't think he squeaked by.
Oh, yeah, almost squeaked by. I mean, that's for sure. I believe that was the number 84 of Johnny Bruck. He actually got scraped, actually, in the left rear panel. Actually, he hit the wall as well.
And this is interesting. On track, we've got a split strategy here. A number of the top 10 and top 15 drivers have hit pit road. Ricky Harden, Adam Blattle, Jason Galvin, Pierre Deigel, James Krahula, Norm Pelletier.
God, Eckrich is Mr. Lonely up towards the front.
Well, I'll tell you what, his favorite song from Three Dog Night must be One Is the Loneliest Number, because I believe it's really of that top 10. He's going to be about the only person that stayed out.
Yeah, he's now we'll definitely see a difference between 45 lap old tires, but you can probably count caution laps into that too, so you may want to consider about 30 laps on those tires. That's going to make a huge difference. Shane McCurry also as well, the number 75, I'm showing, stayed out.
Yeah, he's diving to pit road this time. Because remember, Bristol has those 2 pit roads, and he was on the back stretch, so this is not going to work out in the favor of Scott Eckrich, because everybody that just hit pit road put 4 fresh field goods on those machines, and they're going to be right onto his bumper.
Our lucky dog, Coastal Savior's lucky dog was the number 20 of Brian Habel. That's from what I was shown before, as the caution was coming out. So Coastal Safety Audio's lucky dog award will go to number 20 of Brian there. Brutus, the lucky dog. We are your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services.
Old Brutus, the lucky dog.
Yeah,
a
I
staple.
like that dog.
He's become a legend in the TRL garage.
Oh yeah. That's probably the only dog that I know in any kind of series league, NASCAR, IndyCar, whatever you want to call it. That's the only mascot, I should say. That's such a great dog. I love dogs.
I will say this, I've heard rumors that drivers do bring dog treats into the garage with them week to week, just to make sure they keep Brutus on their good side.
Oh boy, yeah. He'll give you the lucky dog if you're on his good side.
Exactly.
Pace car lights, they going off this time by?
Yeah.
Yes, they are. We are going back green. Scott Eckrich, the only driver up there within the top 10 that has stayed out. He's got about...
Let me refresh that for you, Tanner. He's the only driver, period, on the track that is still on the same tires that he started the race with. Now, Scott is a hot shoe. I mean, he's got 5 wins over in the Cup Series that runs Tuesday nights here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. So we know he can do it, but the tires, that's what's going to be the question.
Yeah, he's got about 28 laps, 20 laps for caution flags that we have tonight. Pace car is off. Scott Eckrich on older tires. Green flag, we are back out. We are racing here at Bristol. Can Ricky Harden in second place get up to that back bumper? And 3 wide for what? 4th place? Contact!
Pierre in the middle. Who was that up top? The 95, J.R. Smith?
95, yeah, that was J.R. Smith.
Oh, mercy. They made it work for a moment.
How did they make that work? I will never know. I mean, that just comes to show how much talent these drivers have.
Ricky Harden going to be under fire here really quick from James Krahula. That number 24 truck is starting to wind up to the rear bumper of Harden. At the moment, Eckrich has been able to squeak away, but his lap times, you almost don't need a stopwatch as Krahula gets real loose out of 2. You almost don't need a stopwatch to see that gap closing between the 15 and the 70. It almost seems like Ricky, and he really closed up big time out of 4. It almost seems like he needs a couple laps to get the pressures up, to really get the feel that he likes. But I'll tell you what, we're going to have a battle for the lead here, going off probably into turn 1 this next time by. Eckrich is going to try to defend, but here comes Harden, down to the inside. He's got the run. He's got the fresh tires. Through the middle, contact!
Contact!
Turn 1.
Oh boy, that's a no-no. Scott Eckrich, what a brilliant save though. I mean, that was a huge save, especially in front of traffic. Scott Eckrich lost 2 spots of it. He remains in the 3rd position. Ricky Harden is now your new race leader.
I'll tell you what though, those tires weren't angry before. They are now as Pierre Daigle comes under fire from J.R. Smith. These two had a slight bit of contact there in that 3 wide situation, and I know the driver with that number 95 probably hasn't quite forgotten that yet.
Oh, Pierre Daigle really slow coming off turn number 2. He might have gotten pretty close to the wall and backed out of the gas just a little bit. That's bringing Adam Blattle and Big Joe Hazard up with them. Behind those guys, this is going to be was a side-by-side battle between Jonathan Smith and Randy Yoakum.
You see just behind him, Adam Blattle being under fire from Big Joe Hazard there in that number 1 truck. They're called Joe the Candyman tonight with that M&M scheme.
Tell you what, we might have a battle for the lead shaping up here pretty soon. James Krahula is sticking very well with Ricky Harden at the moment. One corner of the racetrack, James Krahula is quicker. Another corner of the racetrack, Ricky Harden is quicker.
From an overall lap time, it's a 15:32 versus a 15:35. So these guys are teammates. They've raced together and against each other for years. So you know that these guys right now out front are giving the best, and they know exactly what the driver in the opposing cockpit is thinking.
We got a big gaggle of cars from 4th on back, single file. Pierre Daigle, J.R. Smith, Adam Blattle, Big Joe Hazard. And right behind them has been another pack of cars. As Randy Yoakum in the 8. Brad Collins in the 67 is battling side-by-side with Rick Thompson. And I think this is the only side-by-side battle, the first side-by-side battle we see within the top 10 or outside the top 10.
Yeah, the 23's holding on to it up there, but he's got the 8 machine, Randy Yoakum, kind of playing Pied Piper. The 23, yeah, Jonathan Smith. He's there, and they've all kind of single-filed themselves out now. Looking back through the field here, nothing really major to report. Oh, Don Runkle has had a motor explosion.
Oh no, he's rocket leaking some cones there.
Yeah, that was a big detonation going off into the corner. He's going to bring that thing onto the apron of the track, stay out of everybody's way, not try to kick up some damage for these guys.
Race leaders have yet to battle side by side as they go around number 11. They'll put him another lap down. That is Jonathan Cadell. I think he's going about 3 laps down. Cadell is.
Yeah, that 11 machine is wounded out there on speed. So he's just kind of staying down out of the way. Krahula right now is learning the expression of Krahula right now is trying to milk a rooster. The hard part starts once you catch it, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. He can get to the rear bumper of Harden, but he just can't do anything once he gets there.
Yeah, and it's hard to work that inside lane as well there, Brian, especially when the tires
Oh, he's there now!
Oh,
Harden has to roll out of it, coming out of 4, side by side for the lead, going through 1 and 2. 15 up top, 24 bottom. But Harden is going to get the good run off of turn 2 and thrust himself back into the lead.
Tried it down in turn number 1 and 2, and it did not stick very well. Allowed Ricky Harden to get a run off the corner. Right now, let's see what he can do in turns 1 and 2. This is the corner of the racetrack that James Krahula has been better than Ricky Harden in. But when it comes to turn 3 and 4, Ricky Harden's just a little bit better than James Krahula.
And yeah, when you pretty much weigh that out on a whole, they're pretty even against each other. Not a big drop-off. Guy that I'm really impressed with, Scott Eckrich on those old tires is still hanging on in the 3rd position. I would have thought he would have been falling into the class of Pierre Daigle, J.R. Smith, Adam Blattle, but Eckrich just he's able to keep the speed up there. Now, as the run progresses, and that right front tire wears out even more, it's going to be a challenge for him to kind of keep that track position, because if they get another caution, let's see, we've run basically 28 laps roughly on these set of tires. So if we get another caution here in the next 5 or 10, it wouldn't surprise me to see everybody back down pit road again, and that should even that all back out. As there you see on-screen Harden is able to open up a little gap over Krahula now.
Got number 94 off the apron of the racetrack. Unless he was just trying to get out of the way. Yeah, he was just trying to stay out of the way. I thought he got a little loose there on the corner of my eye there.
Battle hasn't simmered down as J.R. Smith and Pierre Daigle battle for 4th position. JR has been right there, and he's just not been able to get a good run to get underneath Pierre or try to get around him.
Yeah, he's been really trying to, use that higher line, but when he gets that higher line, he really has nowhere to go because Pierre Digel's in front of him. So working that bottom lane's awfully tough to do. Not too far behind these two cars right here is Adam Blattel. And what a run JR, and you've talked JR Smith. I mean, he started back in the 24th position. He had elected not to take a qualifying time, and he's running up there in the top 5. So solid night for JR Smith.
There's our big mover finally of the night, JR Smith. 24th starting position up in the top 5 right now. The number 95 machine.
And we got a big gaggle of cars back here with Rick Thompson here. Going underneath the number 18 of Jason Swan. They're coming side by side.
I heard something going on up front. Harden is not happy with somebody.
Oh, we got a...
I think I see who he's not happy with. It's the driver of the number 75 machine, Shane McCurry. Because that's going to allow Krahula to get by.
Tell you what, Scott Eckert came out of nowhere.
And here you're going to see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, lap traffic can definitely pay dividends here.
That's going to let Krahula get the run. Here's where Harden's mad. He goes off into the corner, and that 75 just kind of floats up there. Pinches him off into the wall. Caution is out, put it out, and it's the 75 machine.
That is number 75 of Shane McCurry. There, as we take a look at the replay and see what exactly happened on the racetrack that brings out this caution. Boy, just snaps loose coming off the corner of the racetrack. Did he hit the apron by any chance that caused that truck to get loose? I don't believe it did.
Did not hit a soul. Waited, kept it on the under part, and got it fired back up. Here we go on track. This is exactly what I was talking about. This is what Eckrich wanted to see. Everybody going to hit pit road before fresh field goods.
Yeah, Scott Eckrich, before all that stuff even happened between Krahula and Harden there, Eckrich actually had a second lead over Pierre Daigle. Everybody down pit road.
And this could be the money stop. 46 laps to go on the ticker right now. So we get a couple cautions and really shorten up that last run as Harden. I think he's got the lead off the pit road.
I believe he did. No, Eckrich actually got it.
Yeah, that timing line was the first one. I thought it was the second cone.
Well, yeah, and where Eckrich's pit stall is, once he starts getting on the gas, there's the timing line. So, number 1 pit stall paying dividends in Scott Eckrich's favor.
And they all had, the top leaders had fantastic pit times, too. Everybody was down in the, let me see here. Yeah, Eckrich was able to squeak out a 12.6 pit stops to Harden's 13.1, and that's all it took.
Wow, that was such a close race to the line off pit road between Scott Eckrich and Ricky Harden. Number 1 pit stop paying dividends in Scott Eckrich's favor. Boy, a lot of activity going on here on Bristol Motor Speedway. I mean, that's to be accepted. Jason Swan, I am showing on he's pitting right now. He stayed out. He is pitting at the moment down pit road. So that will hand over the lead to Scott Eckrich.
If there was a lucky dog, I didn't catch it. I thought, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we captured a lucky dog here.
DJ? Well, DJ's on pit road now. I'm just trying to see who got around the pace. I guess I got a better idea. Let me see if I can figure that out for you here.
A lot of activity going on the racetrack. We ain't even paying attention to our lucky dog. We got to throw Brutus back up there eventually.
Oh, I think I caught it. I think I got it. It was the 84, Johnny Brugg.
Johnny Brugg. I think that's the second lucky dog of the night, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that's the third for him.
Yep. Johnny Brugg, our Lucky Dog Award, and Coastal
Back
Safety
on the
Honors.
lead lap.
Coastal Safety Honors Lucky Dog Award. Brutus, the Lucky Dog. We are your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services.
See, Johnny was smart. He brought the good wishbones out there, so that's why Brutus has been real nice around him today.
You might have brought some pepperonis into the garage.
Haha, there you go. Racking them back up and stacking them.
Yes, sir. Pace car lights are turned off. These drivers are headed down into turn number 3. Pace car is going to take a hard left down into the pit road there. Scott Eckridge at number 1 pit stall. Pay dividends. Puts him back up towards the race lead. Ricky Hart in second. Green flag. We are back racing here at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
Someone that did not get a good start was Adam Blattle, just being on the bottom. He lost a couple spots. He's going to fight back on the low side to run even with Big Joe. But Joe's going to get the run off of the top of the speedway.
Yeah, Big Joe Hazard trying to hang on to the higher line, trying to get a good run on Adam Blattle. He does come off turn number 4.
Ooh, contact there between Randy Yoakum and J.R. Smith. Well, no one got spinning. It was good hard racing.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong things. Or I shall say, traded some paint now and then. But we still got some great battles going on all over the racetrack here, actually. Oh, J.R. Smith taking it to the bottom, very bottom, actually. Doesn't hit the apron as he's trying to get underneath Randy Yoakum.
There you see on screen that battle there. J.R. Smith's in the middle of it. Going to jump up there. You can see Pierre Daigle versus Big Joe Hassert. That's going to be a battle for the 4th position. Big Joe wants it. Pierre has it.
You mentioned earlier in the show, Brian, Big Joe Hazard's been pretty competitive lately. And as of right now, he's really showing it. Having a strong top 5 run.
And it is. You get a couple good runs under your belt, build up some confidence, and that's where you're seeing Joe Hassert start to get to the front here. I think he was believe he had a good shot at last week's race and some shenanigans.
Contact! J.R. Smith with Rick Thompson.
He apologized over the radio, just got in there a little hot. Airman down there, Rick Thompson.
Boy, that almost was a 3-wide scenario there, but they all fanned back out. That side-by-side battle has now between Randy Yoakum and Rick Thompson.
Oh, contact into turn 3! Randy Yoakum, Rick Thompson. They get it all straightened back out, no caution.
Boy, that was a close door-to-door beating and banging right there, Brian.
And it was. They were able to keep that straightened out, so no caution. Rick Thompson's going to come back and try to get back under Jason Galvin. He's going back out front there. You see Randy Yoakum dropped a couple spots.
Now, I've been looking through the field, and he's almost in the 3 wide there as he's trying to get it underneath DJ Beverly. He was running in the top 5 early on, but now he's up there running in the 11th position, trying to battle for 10th for DJ Beverly. He's trying to make a comeback as Jason Galvin.
Jason Galvin is definitely trying to make a comeback.
Oh, no! Oh, DJ Beverly made contact
and
with
there it is.
23.
Put it out. Oh, Yoakum drills the side of the 23 machine.
Bring up the replay here. DJ Beverly actually made contact with the left rear quarter panel of that number 23 cup truck coming.
We were just talking about Jason Galvin, and he had to do some heads-up maneuvering.
Oh, man. Was there contact with Rick Thompson? Oh, yeah, I think there was. I was to say, maybe we can get it on board, but there was contact with Rick Thompson there. Rick Thompson, he did get some damage from that, though. And yeah, that's very unfortunate for Rick Thompson there. We're having a solid run, just running outside the top 10.
Kind of in the wrong spot at the right time.
Yeah, things like that can just bite you here at Bristol, but I mean, as a race fan would tell you, that's just racing. Our lucky dog, Coastal Safety Auditors lucky dog went to Norm Pelletier in the number 56. Norman will get our lucky dog, Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog Award. Brutus, the lucky dog. We are your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services.
And once again, a split strategy up front. Scott Eckrich, Big Joe Hassert, Adam Blattle, Brad Collins, J.R. Smith, DJ Beverly, and Jason Swan have all stayed out. Ricky Harden, Krahula, Pierre Deigel, they've all hit pit road. So it's going to be interesting because I think that they're hoping that a lot more guys are going to go with them. Be interesting to see if they can work their way back up there.
Yeah, and you said earlier, Brian, that as soon as the tire pressures build up, it just seemed like, well, that's just what it seemed like. Everybody was evened out. We've seen Scott Eckrich on older tires get passed by Ricky Harden. There was actually contact between the two drivers. But Scott Eckrich, as soon as those pressures built up, or as long as we had that run going, Scott Eckrich was able to remain in third place. So, 16, 17 laps on older tires, is that really going to make a huge difference?
I'm not sure, but the unacceptable racing boys, they will try something. So this is kind of right into their wheelhouse. Try a different strategy, get off strategy, and just see what works.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a mixed bag of strategy going on. I'm curious to see, especially Ricky Harden. He was running in the top three for a majority of the night tonight. Led some laps as well, and he's going to be backed up in the 8th position. One to green this time by. We're going to take the green flag here as soon as the pace car dips off to the pit road here. Scott Eckrich is going to be your race leader, and we had 6 cautions in this race. We have 28 laps to go. 6 cautions. I think we might be seeing some more cautions since we're getting down to the wire here as these drivers pace down to turn number 3. Pace car is going to take a hard left. Big Joe Hazard, he's in the 2nd position. That's the highest he's been all night long. Let's see what he can do to challenge for the race lead. Green flag is out. We're back racing at Bristol.
Away he goes. Big Joe going to be looking to clear Adam Blattle there and hang on to the 2nd spot. But Adam has different ideas, driving it in deep on the bottom. They're going to come out of that corner side by side. J.R. Smith lines up behind him. He has nowhere to go. He's going to try to get under Adam. He's at number 3.
And what a huge dive right into the corner by Ricky Harden. And he got underneath, who's that, number 18? That's Jason Swan.
He's making it work. Harden with those 4 fresh tires. He's got Krahula coming in back behind him. Harden, he's on a move.
He's on a move, but he's got nowhere to go. But he's saying, all right, I'm going to take the outside line here and see where it goes. So far, it's working. Trying to get by J.R. Smith here. Now he's side by side with J.R. Smith.
He's going to clear him out of the corner here and get a huge run. That's going to be Adam Blattle now as the next target. The 67, Brad Collins.
Oh, number 18!
Contact there between
18.
Swan.
Yep, Jason Swan. Who was that other?
J.R. Smith.
Oh, boy.
He's about to feel like a pinball machine.
Jason Swan almost made contact with DJ Beverly. Almost.
Ricky Harden is on a mission, just going to try to get by Blattle here for the 4th position. And he is coming for the front. Driving like a man possessed.
He's got 4 fresh tires there, Brian, and he is, as you say, he's like a man possessed. Nothing is stopping him. But meanwhile, since that's going on, here's a big pack of wolves right here. Are just all over each other. Jason Swan and that number 84 of Johnny Brugg, who actually had the lucky dog not too long ago. Jason Galvin in that mix. Oh, they're really close.
Shutting the door. This is not the time. 21 laps to go. All chivalry has gone out the window. This is no longer give and take. This is take and take time.
Man, if Ricky Harden got scolded to get up to the front, then he got scolded big time because he is hustling, baby, up to the 4th position. He's got Brad Collins in sights. That would be for the 3rd position.
Put it out! Turn 1 strikes again, and it's Jason Galvin. Ooh, Johnny Brugg got a part of that. There's a couple trucks sitting down there smoking.
And we talked about Jason Galvin making his way back up towards the front. And they were, wow. I just took were they 3 wide coming off that corner there?
They looked like they wanted to try it. It looks like Jason Swan kind of came up, caught the 84, bounced off the wall, catches the 95, who then catches the 42, who then bounces back up to catch the 18.
Wow.
kind of everything just happened in one shot.
Yeah, everything definitely happened in one shot right there. Jason Galvin, man, he was trying to get himself back up towards the top 10. Unfortunately, that's a lot of damage on that truck here tonight. And meanwhile, I'm not seeing any pit stops happening right now, but I am seeing a lucky dog going on, and that is to Rick Thompson. Rick Thompson getting the Coastal Safety Audio's lucky dog. Brutus, the lucky dog. Brutus giving him the lucky dog, should I say. We are your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services.
J.R. Smith, Adam Blattle, Johnny Brugg, Jeff Ryan, Norman Pelletier. Everybody hitting pit road. People are angry.
Yeah, short tempers is always the biggest thing when we come to Bristol. I mean, I'm sure, Brian, you can remember a lot of fights that have happened in reality at Bristol. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was one with Tony Stewart and Matt Kenseth.
There was a helmet being thrown there, and then there was Jeff Gordon versus Matt Kenseth, Dale Jr. versus Robbie Gordon. Danica Patrick's been angry. Ward Burton and Dale Jr. I think that was where Ward uttered the infamous phrase, "If I would have had something to shoot through the window, I'd have done it."
And also, we all know all the famous ones, like, for example, Dale Earnhardt and Terry Labonte here. Actually, it wasn't really an argument, but it was just more of an on-track deal racing. Of course, everybody has their opinions about all that, but heck, that's just Bristol, baby. That's why we call it Bristol, baby.
And it is. These guys, if the pace car lights go off, that's going to be restarting this race with about 13 laps to go. The point of no return that we're going to be looking at here is probably going to be about 5 laps to go. That's where, because iRacing does not do a green-white checkers finish, like the NASCAR overtime rules. So after about 5 laps to go, that's probably going to keep an end to it. But I'll tell you what, someone I'm going to be keeping an eye on this restart is going to be Ricky Harden. He's going to have the high groove on the restart. And I'll tell you what, he's got 4 tires to take with him, too.
And that's been the preferred lane all night long here, Brian. It's been that higher groove. And we've seen Ricky Harden use up that higher groove on very fresh tires compared to when Scott Eckert stayed out when he made his first pit stop. That was like on lap 50 approximately. So Ricky Harden, yeah, he's going to be the one to watch for. We're going to have to keep an eye on Ricky Harden with about 12 laps remaining in this race here. Big Joe Hazard sitting solidly. I am mixing my words up here. He's sitting flawlessly in the top 2 there in second place. Scott Eckridge leading the race. Behind him is Brad Collins in third. Green flag. We are back out racing here at Bristol. Scott Eckridge, big jump. Big Joe Hazard is also clear as well, but Ricky Harden is first side-by-side battle for third. Oh, 3 wide! Oh, man, Adam Blattle? Who's that coming through the middle down there? That is Adam Blattle.
Was.
Wow.
Ricky Harden going to try to get Joe Hazard to give second place up, but it's not going to quite work from the bottom. He shut the door on Brad Collins. That's going to let Harden regroup and try to get a run at Big Joe.
Oh, he's going to
put it out. It's Adam Blattle and Pierre Digel. Turn 3, put it out.
And this is a huge wreck, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, a lot of dodging. Wow, he saved it, even though he was on his side. Like he made contact. He meant to actually try to get on that higher groove on the exit of the corner there, try to get behind Brad Collins. But by the time he got there, too little, too late. Pierre Digel was already there. Maybe we can get an onboard from our director of the, who's that, number 75, driver number 75, that's Shane McCurry. See if we can get an onboard of him, because he actually almost, just a couple inches on hitting Adam Blattle. He got through it, though.
There's disagreements in the in-race chatter where one feels that he moved up and the other feels that they came down.
Check this out, Brian. Number 75, Shane McCurry. Wow. So.
Someone, that's a 95, J.R. Smith getting the lucky dog.
J.R. Smith getting the lucky dog here at Bristol. Coastal Safety Audio's Lucky Dog Award. Brutus the Lucky Dog. We are your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services. So, clock's a ticking. That clock is getting louder. I've been hearing it ever since lap 1. At first it was quiet, but since we're getting down to it, that clock is just ticking louder and louder and louder. And a lot of these drivers can actually hear it. They won't admit that, but they can hear it. Drivers like Scott Eckridge, he's been running up front majority of the night here. Ricky Harden's probably the guy that can hear that clock tick the loudest because he's been on rails since he had that pit stop.
He's got to get a good restart here to get around Big Joe, because Joe can actually, pretty much hold him off from the top side. So Harden is going to need Eckridge to get a good jump, Joe to not get a good run, and then Ricky himself to get a good run if he's going to have any shot here at getting up there and giving Eckridge a fit.
Pace car lights, I'm showing they're still on, so we're going to take another pace lap around here with 9 laps to go here at Bristol. 8 cautions for 38 laps today. And I'm telling you, we've seen some wild racing action tonight. But before we go green here, let's kind of take you through the top 10 here. We have Scott Eckridge, who is our race leader at the moment. I believe he's led the most laps tonight. Big Joe Hazard sitting there in second place, has a shot at the win tonight or even the top 5 finish. Either way, he's been having a great night tonight. Ricky Harden's been on rails. He's back there in the 3rd position. Brad Collins in 4th, and rounding off the top 5 is James Grahula. Bree Deigel in the 6th position. Randy Yoakum in 7th. DJ Beverly in 8th. Jason Swan in 9th. And rounding off the top 10 is Adam Blattle. And Adam Blattle was actually the incident that brought out the caution, this last caution here. He's going to restart in the 10th position. Pace car lights are turned off. 12 cars remain on the lead lap with J.R. Smith getting the lucky dog. He's trying to aim for a top 10 finish here tonight. Back up front, Scott Eckridge, Joe Hazard, Ricky Harden. Top 3 drivers, Brad Collins, James Grahula, rounding out the top 5. Let's see if Ricky Harden can do anything with Big Joe Hazard. Green flag, we're back racing. And I think Ricky Harden was pretty much anticipating that restart. He actually went just a little bit than Scott Eckridge, but Scott Eckridge beat him to the punchline.
It is, but Harden's going to get the run off the bottom. Going to try to get around Big Joe. It's not going to work through that corner. Joe's going to have the run from the top side. They're still going to be side by side. This is hurting Ricky's chances. And we're on board here with James Grahula sitting back, looking back at all this.
Yeah, James Grahula is doing everything he can right here, looking back of the activity that's going on. It is bad fast around here at Bristol. Actually, Joe Hazard actually got around Ricky Harden. Ricky Harden's going to go back underneath.
Contact between Harden and Big Joe!
Oh, that's stacking up everybody, but here comes a big run from James Grahula.
He dove down to the apron to make that one work. Move Grahula up to the
Randy
3rd position, and there goes Yoakum around.
Caution
That's
is
going to do
out.
it, folks. Put it out. That's going to be the final caution. Eckridge is going to be your winner.
Oh, daggone. Randy Yoakum getting contact in the left rear quarter panel from the 02 of DJ Beverly. And everybody is trying to dodge the wreck from there. Jason Swan, I see, is involved. Number 94, Carson Albe is involved. That front stretch is locked up. Getting on board here of the number 76, that's Rick Thompson. Rick Thompson got through that.
There you see Carson pile into that one.
Nope. I guess I was wrong. Oh boy, we've seen a lot of great racing, a lot of action here tonight at Bristol. When it comes all down to it, it's going to be Scott Eckridge coming across the finish line here. I think this will end the race. I do not believe they do 1-lap shootouts, and I don't think we're going to get a 1-lap shootout at all. We got 2 laps to go, so this race is pretty much done.
They would have needed 2 to go right there, the previous lap.
So that's Scott Eckridge will win this race. They're coming to the white flag lap this time by. So Scott Eckridge taking the white flag right here. Second place is Brad Collins, who actually got it through that incident with Joe Hazard and Ricky Harden. Joe Hazard was still able to hang on to at least a top 3 podium finish. So these drivers are headed down this short back straightaway. Scott Eckridge going to be making his way around as he will be taking the checkered flag here. This is it, folks. Unfortunately, iRacing does not do green, white checkers, as Brian did explain. We all kind of wish they did, but but as of right now, there's no green, white checkered. Scott Eckridge going to be coming across the line here along with the pace car as he will win the night race at Bristol.
Good run from Eckridge there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he was actually in the middle pack on older tires, and I think the biggest move of the race for Scott Eckridge was that one pit stop where he got to the line before Ricky Harden. That number 1 pit stop paid dividends to him, and he was in the lead ever since. So great run tonight for Scott Eckridge. So we're gonna get all of our drivers interview here. Get all of our drivers together and see Scott Eckridge do some wonderful burnouts. As we are going to be taking a commercial break. When we get back to it, do some driver interviews, post-race discussion, and we'll take it from there. So we'll be right back here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing channel here at the Bristol Motor Speedway for round 19 of the 2016 Premier Racing League Sportsman Truck Series. Scott Eckrich taking the victory here tonight at Bristol. That's actually going to be 5 wins now he has entering towards the chase. But let's check out the rest of the race results. Scott Eckrich on top of the race board here tonight with the win. Brad Collins, what a run for him tonight. Towards the end of the race there, avoided an incident. That allowed him to finish second place. Big Joe Hazard will remain in the top 3. He gets a podium finish. That's third place for him. James Krahula will finish fourth, and rounding out the top 5 is Ricky Harden. Perry Digel will finish 6th tonight. Adam Blattle will finish 7th. J.R. Smith will finish 8th. I believe he is the biggest mover of the race. And Rick Thompson started 23rd, finishes 9th, will finish in the 9th place. And DJ Beverly rounds out the top 10, the first car, 1 lap down.
11th place to Jason Swan, 12th to Jeff Ryan, 13th to Carson Abe, 14th to Fred Thompson there, and he has Randy Yoakum in 15th, followed by Stormin Norman Pelletier in 16th, 17th to Shane McCurry. Jason Galvin, unfortunate end for his night tonight, back into the 18th position. Johnny Brugg in 19th, and 20th, Jonathan Smith.
Outside the top 20, Jonathan Cadell, 21st. Don Runkle Jr. in 22nd, 23rd, Brian Hubel, excuse me if I have that incorrect. Jake Wright, unfortunately, he'll finish in the 24th position after running in the top 10. 25th position, Mark Norbert. 26th positions, Danny Lawson. And drivers who did not take a lap tonight was Ricky Manzo in 27th, and AJ Brissett will finish 28th. So I believe we do have our top 3 drivers here for the interviews tonight. Actually, I'm only seeing 2 drivers, and one of those drivers is our 3rd place driver, Big Joe Hazard. And Big Joe Hazard, I believe you have a copy here. And Joe, you were running in the top 2 tonight, and you kind of got made some contact in that left rear quarter panel, but you still managed to hang on to 3rd place. How did you remain in the top 10 all night long with all the crazy stuff that was happening?
Well, it was a good run. I avoided a couple wrecks, and I was running about 9th, 10th place, and I decided to stay out those last couple pit stops to get me up to 2nd. I didn't think tires would be too big of an issue, and I was hoping just to hang in there with Scott, and just got a couple good yellows and kept me up there. Give the big assist shout out to the safer barrier in turn 2, keeping me straight and allowing me to get that podium.
I'll tell you, it was definitely a hard-fought battle on your end tonight to get that podium finish, top 3 finish for tonight, and you've been pretty consistent as of late in this series. Now, tonight here at Bristol, it just looked like tires didn't mean a whole heck of a lot unless you really got into a long run. Were tires a big factor tonight, or just not really?
They really weren't. What I noticed, that long run that we had, I think it was probably about 40, 50 laps. And tire wear, I think we were only losing about 0.3 off of our best pace. So it wasn't too big of a difference. But it would have made a difference if somebody tried to do a full fuel run. After that 50 lap stint, I think there would have been a difference. But 10, 20 laps, staying out there on the fresh tires were pretty good.
Night racing and cooler temperatures definitely help with the grip of those tires, that's for sure. Next race in this series is at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park next week in this series. Is that a track you look forward to be a contender for the win, possibly?
I don't know if I can win. I have, you said I was being a little more consistent here. I think I have 2 top 3s in a row now, Michigan and here. I got some new Club Sport V3s. And all of a sudden, braking a little better, being a little more aggressive, being able to a little more travel in the gas pedal. So it's helping me stay more consistent. And I think I might be a factor there. Who knows? But definitely big change in getting new equipment. It was huge. So if anybody's out there thinking, man, what do I need to do to get faster? It might be your equipment. I'm a believer.
And that consistency you to speak of has been keeping you up towards pretty much the top 10 on the chase grid. Before the race tonight, you were 63 points ahead of that chase grid, and especially a third place tonight is definitely going to help you. Well, Joe, we thank you for talking to us tonight, and we wish you the best of luck in the next race at Canadian Motorsport Park.
Thanks, Tanner.
That was Big Joe Hazard in the number 1 truck tonight, finishing third. And Brian, I believe you have called up with Brad Collins.
That I have. Brad Collins,
You hear
a
me?
solid second place effort for you tonight. Tell us, how was it? How were those last couple laps for you?
Oh, it was about as hairy as it gets.
That's one way to put it. But how was the rest of your night? So, it kind of seemed like you were lurking around the top 5, top 10 throughout the first part of the race, and you just kind of put yourself in the right spot at the right time. Was that kind of the strategy all throughout, or just kind of unfold that way for you?
Yeah, pretty much. After I stopped on lap 25, my plan was just to run like the next 50 and then call it good from there. But ended up having a few more cautions. I was able to come in and get to a good position, and then I just watched the battle in front. I was doing my best to try to get around the 104. He was really hard to get around, and then I was fighting with the 8 and the 24, just trying to make sure I didn't wreck anybody. I was doing pretty good, keeping the car clean until right there near the end. I took a couple of hits, but otherwise than that, I was rolling as hard as I could.
Sounds good. It's a strong point showing. How are you kind of feeling out for the chase here as the season unfolds? Were you getting up there, or was this kind of just a one-off? I see you're back there. Never mind, you're kind of a one-off start. So, but still solid effort for you. So, anybody else you'd like to thank for putting you here?
Oh, I'd just like to thank James for allowing us to come in here and race in this league. It's been a good time. Speed Mafia Racing and Rick Thompson and the rest of us have been having a ball, putting up some pretty good numbers the last 2 races in this truck series. So hopefully we can keep it going.
Sounds good. We'll catch you. I'm not sure when the next broadcasted one is, but you do have the series does fire off next week at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, so you get to turn left and right next week.
Well, that ought to be fun.
With that being said, Brad, have yourself a great night, and we'll catch up with you down the road.
Y'all too.
All right, that was the voice of our second place finisher. But now, I'll be curious to hear, Tanner, you've caught up with our winner, Scott Eckrich. Tell us, you're just going to have to tell him in your own words, I guess, how it worked out.
Yeah, definitely champagne spraying here and down in Victory Lane. Scott Eckrich, you get your 5th win of the season. And I'm telling you, it got a little hairy there for a moment when you weren't the race leader. You stayed out on approximately, actually, your first pit stop was about 48 laps in, but if you count caution laps, it was about 28 laps on tires. Take us through that little stretch right there.
Oh yeah, we had an idea. We had a lap in mind for when I wanted to pit, and I was really going to stick to that strategy. So when that caution came out, it wasn't quite in the window I wanted. So we decided to roll the dice and stay out. The tires seemed to be falling off in a pretty consistent manner, and they would kind of plateau out. So we were kind of banking on that fact, and I think it kind of worked out that way. Plus some lap traffic kind of slowed the leaders down, and it didn't really let them get away.
Yeah, for sure. And now towards the end of the race, you were the race leader. You were in control of the restarts, and it looked like Joe Taz, or actually Ricky Harneffers, was going to give you a run for your money there. But unfortunately, those guys got tangled up in the pack there. Take us to the closing moments of the race tonight.
Yeah, the idea was just to get that good jump. I knew Ricky was behind me on tires, so I wanted to make sure I got the best jump on him. And it seemed to work out. That they got side by side, looked like they were battling real hard for second there, and I think they got into each other and caused a little mayhem. Really good job by Brad Collins to get around that, take advantage of that situation there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Restarts always play key. In my opinion, the biggest key move of the race on your end is probably that whole pit road deal when you beat Ricky Hart out of pit road. That got pretty exciting, I must say. Well, Scott, next week we're transitioning from the world's fastest half mile to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park next week in this series. How do you feel about your chances at that track?
I don't believe I've ever been there, so it's going to be the first time there. So it should be interesting.
It'd be definitely interesting. Before we let you go, Sky, is there anything else you would like to say? Anything you like that's on your mind tonight?
Oh yeah, I always like to thank Steel Horse Racing. It feels real good. After 2 weeks off for administrative issues, we were able to finally get back on track, and we were able to bring that I'm on TV mom Moo Cow Pink Sunglasses Sample Tech Chevrolet home with the victory.
All right. Well, thank you for Scott for taking the time to come with talk with us, and we will see you next time. And we enjoy your celebration and win here in Victory Lane, the world's fastest half mile.
Thank you.
That was Scott Eckrich winning the race here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Well, Brian, I'm telling you, how we say we wrap this up? Any final thoughts for tonight?
No, I mean, we saw that, yeah, it was just kind of one of those nights here at Bristol. A lot of people angry at each other, and, we saw a bunch of wrecked trucks, some good racing. A little bit of everything happened here tonight at Bristol for us. So I'd say let's send her home, Tanner.
We shall send her home for the evening here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We would like to thank the organizers and the competitors in the Premier Racing League Sportsman Truck Series for coming here tonight and putting on a great show. We would like to also thank our various software and hardware that you see listed on your screen. Thanks to the team today, Brian Yazek, Jason Fleshy, and our camera guru by Dougie Beard. If you'd like to find out more about the GSRC, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. along with archive races and upcoming broadcasts. We're also on Twitter at GSRC channel and Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. A special thanks goes out to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, who provides us with our music. You can buy Eric's on iTunes and Spotify, and Casey's at caseylalonde.bandcamp.com. All our upcoming races in all other series are on the screen, so be sure to mark those down on your calendar, and don't miss another second of exciting racing action. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.